I'm going to share my screen right now. And we're going to go ahead and share that video. Uh-oh. One second. Okay, here we go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our event organized by our Beta Alpha Psi students. I want to thank our partners at CalCPA, our advisory board members, and all of our accounting firms who support our students and programs. We at the JHBC are very proud of the work we do in transforming the lives of our students. Our faculty in the accounting and finance department, including our chair, Dr. Taewan Young, do an amazing job of mentoring and guiding our students. As you may have heard, we have just hired a new tenure track faculty member in the area of taxation, and she'll be joining us in the fall of 2022. Our college continues to gain national and international recognition for our programs. Our students are in demand. For example, EY recently hired 4 of our graduates. Once again, I thank you for your support and congratulate our student leaders. I hope you enjoy the rest of the event and get to meet our talented students. Thank you.
Thank you so much to the Dean for making that video for us. We appreciate it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Dr. Yang, and he's going to say a few words for us.
Hi, everyone. Department also want to welcome and thank you, California Board of Accountancy and Krcpa Accounting Advisory Board, the Krcpa Psi and Accounting Association for making this great event for our students. Without your support, our accounting programs and students cannot move forward. Oh. Thank you again. So recently, Krcpa donated a scholarship for our students. Department really appreciates Krcpa for endless support on our students and their career development. I would like to bring up Mr. David Lowe to recognize Krcpa scholarship recipient. David, are you there?
Yes, hi there. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Well, good evening, and thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to join you. I wish it was in person, but hopefully that'll be sometime soon in the next academic year. So, but I wanted to, again, recognize 3 individuals who are the winners of our CalCPA Scholarship. Just a little bit of background. Cal State San Bernardino is a designated 100% member school. And that comes with several benefits. One of it being the fact that we provide funding for an annual scholarship for students here at Cal State San Bernardino. And I have to say that it's been an absolute pleasure to work with Cal State San Bernardino. I appreciate the passion of the faculty and just the enthusiasm of the students for the profession. You all are the future of that profession, though, and it looks very bright. And so I definitely appreciate the opportunity to come out. So we have three winners of $500 each in terms of the CalCPA scholarship. They are Audrey Aparicio, Claudia Sanchez, and Monica Lozano Mesa. So thank you so much. I've had an opportunity to interact with all 3 of them, albeit not in person, but online. But just fantastic individuals. Again, they're going to be great in the profession, a real asset. And you know, I definitely encourage all 3 of you to come back to your your alumni institution and give back. The students will be able to definitely benefit from your experience at Cal State San Bernardino. And like I said, I mean, any firm is lucky to have all three of you work for them. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. We're so excited.
And thank you for everything that you do with us too.
Thank you, David. So next, Monica, were you able to generate that raffle, or are we going to wait a few more minutes?
Yes, it seems like I may be having some issue with the link, so I might have to recreate it because I apologize. It seems like somehow it's sending different people information, but if we can do like halfway the raffle.
Okay.
Okay.
So this raffle is for a $50 Amazon gift card sponsored by Cpa. So I have to sign off to give my daughter a bath, but if I can just lean on Monica to send me the winner's information and their email, I'm gonna go ahead and email them the gift card electronically.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, I'll get back to you, David. Thank you.
I'll try not to get too wet during bath time.
Thank you.
All right, take care, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so next we have Brad Weibler from Rams and Charlie Lowenberg from Soren McAdams, and they're going to talk a little bit about the importance of the CPA exam. And also they have some fun stuff to share with us in regard to a contest they had recently.
Hey, Brad, if you're okay, I'm going to kick things off here for us. And
Please
then
do. Thanks, Charlie.
I'll kind of give you an opportunity to jump in if I missed anything. So good thing we're having technical difficulties with this raffle. Otherwise, we would have done the raffle and then everybody probably would have bounced, especially knowing I was coming up, right? So anyways, my name is Charlie Lowenberg. I'm a partner with Soren McAdam and the outgoing chair of the Accounting Advisory Board. But I should note that the only reason I was the chair was because David Centeni didn't allow me to make any excuses and decline the position. So it's a good job, David. Seriously though, I have a big heart for the universities that provided the foundation for my career as a graduate from Cal State, San Bernardino, back in 2001. So I know firsthand the potential that they had all of you, having walked the same path through Jack Brown Hall as many of you currently are. But enough about me and on to the reasons I have the mic. As all of you are soon to be accounting grads, no doubt you've heard about the value of not just getting your accounting degree, but also strong suggestions towards studying for and getting through the CPA exam, whatever your career path in accounting may be. Getting your license, regardless of whether you want to build a career in public accounting or not, is a differentiator wherever your accounting career may take you. It's a daunting exam and by no means easy, but as they say, nothing worthwhile is ever easy. And there's plenty of proof around us that it doesn't take a genius to pass the CPA exam. Sir, don't raise your hand. But it takes discipline, focus, consistent study. It's a sacrifice, but the sooner you do it, the sooner you'll never have to do it again. Make the time to study a priority and do it while you're still in study mode of being a student rather than waiting you get into your career and you start making money and wanting to enjoy the fruits of your hard studies and you fall out of the study habit and you just have more pools for your time because now you're making that cheddar, right? So with that said, several months ago, Dr. Centeni approached the Accounting Advisory Board with a great idea. The idea was to implement a mock CPA exam challenge to provide students with an opportunity not only to practice taking the exam, but hopefully for them to not see the exam as a barrier, but more of a challenge that you can conquer. And what better way to do that than by making it a BAP CPA exam challenge, a competition that ran from February 1st through March 31st, with the top performers getting cash rewards and other benefits. And hearing this, the Accounting Advisory Board was all over it, and several member firms agreed to provide a $500 cash reward, as well as a casual lunch opportunity for 4 top performers. A quick plug for the sponsor firms, Soren McAdam, Rams, Wilson Ivanova, and Smith Marion. Thank you very much, sponsors. And before I mention the award winners, I'd like to offer Brad an opportunity to add his perspective on anything I may have missed.
Thank you, Charlie. We are excited to make these presentations and awards to those that have participated in this mock CPA exam. We think it's a really great program that the university has put together, and we hope that more of you will take an opportunity to do that. I want to echo everything Charlie said about the importance of that CPA exam and really focusing on it while you're a student. There's no better time. As much as it sounds like you want to just finish school and get onto your career and then deal with it later, it really is much harder. And if you can work it into your studies, that really is the best time. Back to you, Charlie.
With that said, let's announce these winners. So we have the first winner is Drake Davis. Is everybody on here, or maybe I'll just mention the names, and since we're all kind of muted. So we have Drake Davis, Caleb Margison, Anthony Rezai, and Claudia Sanchez. I know she's here somewhere. So congratulations, guys. You guys are all the recipients of $500 cash each. And we were just coordinating before this session started how to get that cash over to the university so we can get it into your guys' hands. So hopefully it should be coming within the next week or so. All right. And if you weren't in this group, don't stress, it's all good. Just be sure to take the exam next time, jump on it, and just see what happens. I mean, after all, what do you got to lose? There might be some more surprise cash rewards. And I can't remember if I mentioned it or not, but one of the other things we'd agreed that we'd offer is a casual lunch. I don't think we've worked out the kinks related to how we're going to do it, but I think with each winner, we're going to look to see if we can coordinate all of the sponsor firms and maybe even some other accounting advisory board members to take that individual out to lunch. Of course, pick up the tab and then just let them pick our brains. So hopefully they find value in that, and hopefully you're in that group next time. All right, so now I have a surprise insert into the program. We want to recognize a couple of individuals that have been instrumental in the continued success of the university's accounting program, and specifically in maintaining the relationship between local firms and the university through its accounting advisory board. I'm sure we're all familiar with that. Too often, you have the ones that are doing all the work, or at least the hardest of the work, that are the ones that never get the recognition or enough of it, or maybe even a thank you. Well, the Accounting Advisory Board team is here today to help mitigate this by taking a moment to thank Dr. Yang and Dr. Centeni for their endless efforts and passion for the university, its accounting students, and outside professionals that support the university in this program. Dr. Yang and Dr. Centeni, on behalf of the board, we'd like to recognize and express our appreciation and gratitude for being the glue that keeps us working together and striving to improve the university's accounting program, and in helping to provide the students with maximum opportunities to develop their skills and promote a successful professional career for themselves through through promoting a professional career in themselves and optimizing opportunities you both help make available to them. Thank you both for being exactly who you are. The university and all of us are lucky to have you both as professors, colleagues, and partners at the university. Thank you both. We have a couple of Beta Alpha Psi shirts for you guys to wear proudly. And Brad, I didn't tell you this in advance, but both Brad and I would like to offer to take you both to lunch at any place you'd like, and on us, of course.
Thank you so much, professors. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Back to you.
Thank you. That's amazing. Congratulations to the winner of the Cal CPA mock exam. I know that was really tough, and it was something that you took out of your time, out of your day, out of your studies. So congratulations, guys. That's awesome. So next, we're going to go ahead and move on to our keynote speaker. We are so honored and so humbled that we have President Michael Savoy, a CPA of the Cba, and he's going to say a few words for us. Go ahead and take it away, Michael.
Thank you so much for that great introduction. My name is Michael Savoy. I am a certified public accountant, and I also serve as a 3-time president of the California Board of Accountancy, which we'll refer to as the CBA. On behalf of all our board members and the 100 individuals who make up the staff of the CBA, we'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you guys today. We are pleased that you have an interest in pursuing a CPA license, and it is our desire to help you along your pathway and beyond. I hope you will find this session beneficial and informative as you hear how to earn your CPA license directly from the California Board of Accountancy. So what exactly is the CBA and what do we do? The CBA is a state agency that regulates the practice of public accountancy in California and issues CPA licenses to those that have met the requirements under the law. With over 114,000 licensees in this great state of California, you can imagine that that's a big job. Our mission is the protection of consumers, individuals, or businesses that rely on the services provided by a CPA in your state, whether directly or indirectly. The important mission underscores everything else that we do. We are responsible for evaluating all California applicants for CPA licensure to determine whether they meet the requirements to become licensed and issuing licenses to those that do. The CBA maintains continuing education requirements to ensure the competency of CPAs even after they receive their licenses, so that they will continue to practice in accordance with professional standards, keeping the quality level of the CPA profession at a very high standard. The CBA also has 3 advisory committees which assist us in our duties. They are made up of dedicated CPAs who see the personal and professional benefit of giving back to the accounting industry by volunteering on one of these committees. It is something that you may want to consider during your career as a CPA. I'm almost practicing for 49 years. And for me, it's been a way of giving back to the profession that has been so rewarding for me. And you notice I don't say job, it's a career, it's a profession, and I've been in public accounting. I can't tell you how long, but it's quite a bit since I graduated. In a few minutes, David Hempel of the CBA will explain the requirements to become a CPA. If you're unsure about something you hear during their presentation, please don't hesitate to ask about it. We will have a question and answer time towards the end of the evening with Ricardo Hernandez from the CBA Examination Unit and Michael Lieberman from the CBA Initial Licensing Unit. Both of them review applications every day, so they're very knowledgeable about the entire process and will be happy to answer any questions that you may have. That's why we're all here today. But first, I'd like to tell you about the many benefits from achieving the title that CPA provides. The public accounting profession has a long and important history, and the need for our services has never been greater. The skills that a CPA must possess are evolving to encompass the many technological advancements in the world today, and the Uniform CPA examination will be updated in 2024 to incorporate this new knowledge into the test. This way, future CPAs will be even more equipped to handle their clients' or companies' needs. It is important to note about your CPA, about the prestige and respect that they garnish, the career development and the potential by having those 3 letters after your name, the security, and whether you know it or not, there's a tremendous shortage of good qualified accounting students today, and firms are looking for the best and brightest. And of course, job satisfaction. As you move within your career and you elevate within a firm, there is a certain amount of satisfaction that comes with that. And not to mention, last but not least, the money and the benefits that it provides. While you may not become the richest person in the world, it will afford you many comforts that you'll be very, very happy to achieve. 2 of my daughters wound up being CPAs and working for firms. People ask me, how did I accomplish that? I did it because I did nothing. They saw the lifestyle, they saw the comforts. Had I pushed them to become in that industry, they probably would have went in a different direction. One of them works for KPMG, the other one works for Grant Thornton. They're both auditors and quite successful in both their careers. And I hope each of you today will consider the rewarding path of becoming a CPA. I know it's a decision I'm very happy that I made many years ago. And now I'll hand it back off to David to discuss the requirements which you will need to meet in order to qualify to take the CPA test. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, President Savoy. And good evening, Coyotes. I am David Hemphill. I'm on the communications team here at the CBA, and I'm happy to be here to explain the requirements to qualify to take the CPA exam, what the application process looks like, and then how to apply ultimately to get your CPA license. So hopefully by the end of this, you'll have a good understanding of what you need to be prepared and succeed in passing the CPA exam. All right, so I'm going to share my screen here and jump into this. If you have any questions, I'm going to have a lot of information for you here in the next 15-20 minutes or so. So go ahead and ask questions in the chat, and then we'll get to as many as possible during a question and answer session at the end of the program this evening. So we'll get to as many of those as we can. But first, let me tell you a little bit about the CPA exam itself, which is your first step towards licensure. So CPA exam is short for the Uniform Certified Public Accountant Examination. It's a national computer-based exam designed to test the skills and competencies you will need to enter into the practice of public accountancy. There are 4 sections. Each section is 4 hours long. Here we go: auditing and attestation, business environment and concepts, financial accounting and reporting, and regulation. Now remember, the CPA exam is undergoing changes that are anticipated to take effect in 2024. I will give you more details on these changes a little later. But first, how do you qualify to sit for the CPA exam? So the requirements to be approved are a bachelor's degree with 24 semester units in accounting courses and 24 semester units in business-related courses. We like to call it the 24 and 24. Up until recently, you had to meet all 3 of those requirements before you could apply for the CPA exam. But last year, a bill was passed, Assembly Bill 298, which changed the timeline for when exam candidates need to satisfy the requirements. So you can now apply for and actually start taking the CPA exam prior to completing your education requirements. In other words, before you graduate. So we call this early entry. When you're ready to apply for the exam, you'll notice the CBA breaks candidates down into 3 options: early entry and then 2 others. So let me explain what each of those options means. Option A are the candidates that have already completed all of the education requirements. So remember those, right? Completion of a bachelor's degree or higher from an accredited U.S. degree granting educational institution or the equivalent foreign education, including 24 semester units of accounting courses and 24 semester units of business-related courses. Option B is for candidates currently enrolled in a program that will result in the conferral of a bachelor's degree upon completion of a master's degree. And of course, that needs to include the 24 semester units of accounting, 24 semester units of business. The new option is option C, and that's the one we call the early entry candidates. So you must be enrolled at an accredited U.S. degree granting educational institution and within 180 days of completing the education requirements. So specifically, from the date we receive your exam application, you must complete your bachelor's degree and the 24-24 within 180 days, which is about 6 months. Another important thing to know is that you have 240 days, or about 8 months, from the date we received your exam application to send in your transcripts to provide evidence that you did complete all of the requirements. Now, if you're applying as an option A or B, when you're ready to apply, you should send your official transcripts to the CBA. And there's 3 ways that you can get them to us. First, have your transcripts mailed directly to the CBA from your school or schools if you've attended more than one. Second, obtain official sealed transcripts and mail them yourself along with your CPA exam application. Or third one is order an electronic transcript to be emailed to the CBA using a CBA approved provider. Now you have to make sure they're approved. You can find the list on the CBA website. The CBA has a dedicated email address to send your transcripts to, and it's cbatranscripts@cba.gov. One more important thing to take note of, you want to make sure that your degree has been conferred on the transcript. So if it gets sent without the degree notated on it, we'll have to ask you to send it again, and that delays things a little bit. So this is a common issue we find when we review applications. If you're applying as an option C, that's the early entry candidate, you do not need to send in your transcripts at the time you submit your application. But remember, as I mentioned, you need to send in all your transcripts after your degree has been confirmed, but within 240 days, right? You got 8 months to get it into us from when you submitted your exam application to the CBA. Education completed outside of the United States is accepted by the CBA, but it must be evaluated by a CBA approved credential evaluation service. And we have quite a few. The evaluation service will provide your evaluation to the CBA. The list of evaluation service providers is also on our website, and you see it there at the bottom of the slide, but that is on our website. Okay.
I'm sorry, David.
Yeah.
It seems that your screen is not sharing, so the PowerPoint is not being shown.
Oh. Okay, hold on, let me get out of it. Let me get back to. Oh, there was I have to collect that first. Sorry about that. You're missing all my beautiful slides. There we go.
All right, that's better.
There, it's coming. Let's get that out of the way. Do that. Okay. Get that out of the way. Okay, so now let's talk about creating your own Cba client account. And thank you for letting me know about that. Okay, so a client account will allow you to create application remittance forms, which I'll talk more about in a moment. Check the status of your exam application and view your scores once you start taking the exam. Even though you'll be creating your client account online, the application itself, you still need to print, sign, and mail to us along with your application processing fee. These forms cannot be submitted electronically at this time, not yet. Once you have completed these steps, your job for applying for the CPA exam is done. And now it's up to the CBA to help you get approved. So when we receive all the required documents for candidates in options A or B, we review your file to determine if you've met the requirements, which are bachelor's degree, 24 accounting units, 24 business related units. Got it? If the CBA determines you've met the requirements, then you're approved. You'll receive an email notification with instructions on your next steps. If you don't meet the requirements just yet, we'll email you to let you know what's missing, and then you can get to work fixing it. The option C, or early entry candidates, don't have educational documentation that require an initial review. Rather, by choosing this option, candidates are self-certifying by way of your signature that you are currently enrolled at an institution and within 180 days of completing your educational requirements, which will result in your bachelor's degree conferral. Candidates will be required to acknowledge and identify their enrollment status during their client account setup phase. And of course, you must get all your official transcripts to us within 240 days. Saying that a lot because it's important. Otherwise, you may not get credit for any exam sections that you may have already passed, and we definitely don't want that to happen. So once you're approved, then the fun begins. Your client account will update and allow you to begin selecting your CPA exam sections. So remember, we talked about there being 4 sections of the exam. The order you take each section is completely up to you. Most candidates prefer to spread out the sections to allow themselves plenty of study time, taking into consideration your work schedule, personal commitments. The CPA exam is offered continuously throughout the year. All right, so I've got some acronyms for you now. You'll know these really well once the entire process is over. So the first one is ATT, which is not the phone service. No, it's authorization to test. So when you originally select which section or sections you want to take first, the CBA will send you, we'll send an ATT to the National Association of State Boards of Accountancy, which we refer to as NASBA. You'll get to know NASBA very well also. So once NASBA receives your ATT, a payment coupon will be issued. No acronym for that one. The payment coupon is good for 90 days. So make sure to submit your exam section fees to NASBA during that time. It's important to know once you've paid your section fees, you can't change your mind and remove or add sections. So that's important. If you need to make any changes, you're going to have to send a request to the CBA before you pay NASBA and prior to the expiration date of your payment coupon. Once NASBA receives your payment, you will be issued, here comes another one, an NTS, which is Notice to Schedule. Each NTS is valid for 9 months. So you'll need to schedule and sit for your selected sections within that 9-month period. Make sure your NTS matches the spelling of your name on the identification cards you plan to bring, your driver's license or whatever, to the testing center. So we don't want you to be denied entrance. If your information is not shown correctly, please let us know right away and we will get it fixed for you. All right, so now it's time to get serious about preparing for your CPA exam. An all-night caffeine-filled cram session might have worked in college, but it's not recommended for this. Not that you would do any of that, of course. There's definitely help out there, though, to assist you in preparing for the CPA exam. The exam is developed by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, that's AICPA. On their website, you see the link there. They provide Cpa Exam Blueprints, where you can learn about the specific topics tested in each section. You can also find sample tests and tutorial topics that will help you prepare for and hopefully pass the CPA exam. These are definitely big helps, which we hope you will take advantage of. When you're ready to schedule your exams, it'll be time to get to know a company by the name of Prometric. They operate testing centers all around the world, and they will administer the CPA exam to you. Schedule your exam section by using Prometric's online scheduling tool or by contacting them over the phone. Prometric testing centers are normally open 6 days a week. CBA allows you to test at any of Prometric's locations in the United States, District of Columbia, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and Guam. Once you've got your exam scheduled and the day arrives, got a couple tips for you. We highly recommend that you arrive early, about 30 to 45 minutes before your appointment. That way you'll have plenty of time to locate the testing center, find parking, you never know how that's going to be, and complete the check-in process. You definitely don't want to feel rushed or stressed before such an important test. And don't forget to bring that paper NTS and your valid ID. Without these, you will not be allowed to test and you will lose the exam fees that you paid. All right, congratulations. You took your exam. Feel pretty good about how you did? You took a lot of time to study. Good job. Good job. Now, how long do you have to wait to find out if you pass? And how do you get your score? So here's how it goes. Based on the dates you see on this slide, and these are the current ones. So if you took the exam today, which is before May 16th there, you would expect to receive your score on May 24th. So you can view all the target score release dates on the AICPA website. You will find your score in your online client account that you created with us, the CBA. NASBA releases everyone's scores to the CBA, at least those in California, of course, and then they are automatically uploaded to your account, generally the night of your target date. So it'll be the night of May 24th. For security reasons, scores cannot be released via email or telephone. So you got to get a score of 75 or higher. If you do, you passed. Nice job. In order to pass the entire CPA exam, you need to pass all 4 sections that I mentioned earlier within an 18-month period. The date you pass your first section starts the clock on this 18-month period. If one of your exam credits expires prior to you passing all 4 parts, then you will need to retake that section. Scores do not expire once all 4 sections are successfully completed. So once you pass the full CPA exam, no one can ever take that away from you. We'll send you a congratulatory letter when you've passed with information on your next steps to obtaining a CPA license. There are some additional requirements to meet when you're ready to apply for your license. But before I get into those, I want to talk a little bit about Cpa Evolution, which is what we call the changes coming to the CPA exam in 2024. So as I mentioned earlier, there are changes that are scheduled to happen right now in January of 2024. So the 2024 CPA exam is not yet finalized, but since you're the future of the accounting profession and may actually be taking the new version of the exam, I just want you to be aware of what it is. The coming changes is a joint effort of NASBA and AICPA aimed at transforming the overall licensure model to focus more on the rapidly changing technological skills and competencies the accounting practice requires today and will require in the future. Along with NASBA and AICPA, state CPA societies, state boards of accountancy, academia, firms of all sizes, and CPAs in all areas of practice from all across the country are vital partners in helping prepare CPA Evolution. It's pretty exciting. Their collaboration and support in implementing the new licensure model will help the profession remain strong and relevant for your time in the industry, while protecting the public interest in a constantly changing business environment. So in addition to the changes to the exam itself, there are changes happening to the licensure model as well. As part of CPA Evolution, NASBA and AICPA are moving forward with a core plus discipline licensure model. The CPA exam will continue to test candidates' core competencies, and it's anticipated that the core will include accounting, auditing, and tax, with technology embedded within each of these core competencies. In addition to the 3 core areas, you will be able to demonstrate more in-depth knowledge in one of these proposed disciplines: business analysis and reporting, information systems and controls, or tax compliance and planning. So this will enhance public protection by producing candidates who have the deep knowledge necessary to perform high-quality work. It'll be responsive to feedback by requiring all candidates to demonstrate strong core competencies. It'll require deeper proven knowledge in one of the 3 disciplines that are pillars of the profession. And it's designed to be adaptive and flexible, helping to future-proof the CPA as the profession evolves. And regardless of whichever discipline you choose, there will still be only one CPA license. So a candidate's chosen discipline does not mean the CPA is limited to that practice area. And even with this new model, your option to apply for either a G, general, or a attest authority license will not change. The specific content of the core and disciplines will be determined by all those people that I mentioned before, and it will be periodically reviewed to maintain the validity and reliability. For more information about CPA Evolution and the proposed changes, you can visit their website, which is evolutionofcpa.org. They do update that page as new information is provided, so you can check back from time to time. If you're wondering how the transition may impact you, if perhaps you take some of the CPA exam prior to January 1st, 2024, they're starting to figure all that out, and you can see that here. Any CPA exam credit you earned prior to that date will remain the same, and your credit expiration dates will remain the same. You can visit NASBA's website for a copy of this chart here that you see on the slide, which lays out exactly how the sections passed under the current CPA exam will map out to the credits under the new 2024 CPA exam. While on NASBA's site, you may want to look at their transition policy FAQs, which also provide more detailed and helpful information. All right, so I hope that made you feel a little more comfortable what to expect with the CPA exam. I wish you good luck with good scores. It'll be such an amazing feeling when you get that passing score for your 4th section of your exam. So once you've got the CPA exam in the rearview mirror, it'll be time to turn your attention to obtaining that CPA license. So here we go. Let's start off with some of the educational requirements for CPA license. And they are additional to the educational requirements for the exam. So when you sat for the exam, you met most of the educational requirements, but not quite all of them. So here are the additional ones. So there will be 20 semester units of accounting study. So in addition to the 24 and 24, you have 20 more semester units of accounting study. There's 10 semester units of ethics study, 3 of which must be in a course in accounting ethics, accountant's professional responsibilities, auditing or fraud. And then the last thing is that you have a total of minimum 150 semester units. So those are the additional educational requirements for licensure. Another requirement for CPA licensure is experience. So you will need to complete a minimum of 1 year of general accounting experience under the supervision of an actively licensed CPA. So that's important. Has to be under the supervision of a licensed CPA. When accepting job offers, it's probably best to inform your employer of your intent to pursue a CPA license so we can make sure they're eligible to sign off on your experience. Also a good idea to have your experience form signed and submitted to the CPA once you complete it, regardless of whether you're ready to apply or not. Applicants and supervisors may change jobs, you might relocate. Sometimes it's difficult to locate your signer if you're looking to do it, a couple years down the road, perhaps. Completion of the general accounting experience requirement will allow you to perform all of the services of a CPA, except for signing reports on attest engagements, which include planning audits, preparing work papers, and preparing full disclosure financial statements. If you want to be able to sign reports and attest engagements, you will need to complete 500 hours in attest functions during your employment under the supervision of a licensed CPA, who also must be authorized to sign reports on attest engagements. Drink of water. I'm talking a lot. I'm almost done. But thank you for your attention. So once your education and experience requirements have been satisfied, you're almost there. Just a couple more things you must do in order to obtain your CPA license. The first is passing an ethics exam. It's called the Professional Ethics for CPAs Examination, or PEth. It's administered online by the California Society of CPAs, represented here tonight, CalCPA, and it's specific here to California. When you pass the PEth exam, CalCPA will send your score to the CBA electronically. Your test result for PEth is valid for 2 years. If your application is not submitted within those 24 months, you will have to take it again. The last box you have to check is submitting fingerprints, which will be used to conduct a criminal history background check on you. Authorization and information on how to complete this will be sent to you after we receive your CPA application. All right, so let's get into that. How do you actually apply? Well, an exciting improvement the CBA recently made is the introduction of an online application for CPA licensure. Woohoo. You can now submit your CPA application and pay the processing fee, and if you choose, also the initial licensing fees with a credit card entirely online. Just go to the CBA website to get started. The paper application is still available if you absolutely love using stamps and making trips to the post office. You will not be able to prepay the initial license fee if you choose the paper application. You would only pay the application fee at that time. When submitting your application, be sure to include your email address so we can notify you more quickly if there's anything needed to complete your file. Once the CBA has received your application and fees, you will receive an acknowledgement email, including the authorization and instructions for getting fingerprinted. A live scan form, or if you live out of state, fingerprint cards will be provided to you by the CBA. CBA staff will review the application and notify you of the outcome. This should happen within 30 days. And I just posted today, we're currently processing this in like a week. So way to go, CBA staff. They're doing an excellent job. So Michael Lieberman. You can pat yourself on the back down there. We'll be talking to him in a minute. So if an application is approved for licensure, the CBA will provide you with either an approval notification or a pre-approval notification with instructions to submit your initial license fee if you applied using a paper application or didn't prepay it with the online application. If an application is not approved for licensure, you'll be sent a letter advising what is outstanding, and then you can get to work on fixing that. We have lots of things on our website to help you out through this process, either for exam or licensure. One of the things we have is the self-assessment worksheet that helps you track your classes and plan for any future education you may need. You can kind of fill it in. It's really handy. It breaks down the 24, the 24, the 20, and the 10. All of that is right there. There's also an education tip sheet that breaks down the requirements and helps you determine where a particular course may qualify. See, like I said, CBA website has a wealth of information available to you all along the pathway to your CPA license. Click on the applicants tab right there, and you'll find the online applications, links to all the forms you need, handy flyers called the CPA Exam Quick Tips and the CPA Licensure Quick Tips. Those are really good. There's also a bunch of FAQs that others just like you have asked in the past that can hopefully assist you in understanding the various requirements and procedures to qualify and apply for your CPA exam and CPA licensure. The CBA also offers licensure assistance programs for past and present military personnel and their spouses or domestic partners, as well as refugees, asylees, and special immigrant visa holders. The CBA even has a dedicated military and refugee liaison, Jennifer Jackson, who is there to assist you. For more information, you see right there, one of the tabs up top is the military refugee section, which you can access from that tab, which you see circled right there. We understand the time and commitment you make when you're pursuing your CPA license, and we want to make the process as seamless as possible for you. So in addition to all the help available on our website, CBA staff is dedicated to assisting you every step of the way. If you have a question you can't figure out at any time during your application process, we encourage you to email us at the appropriate address you see here. You can also find these in the Contact Us section of the website. The outreach one, that's one that I kind of look at. And then if you have exam or licensing questions, you see those two right there. Of course, you can always connect with us on social media. Hope you do that. I run those social media accounts, so they're great. So LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, go ahead and find us. There's all the addresses right there. We'd love for you. And it's a great way to get kind of breaking news from us. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the opportunity to present to you today. Hopefully you have a much better understanding now of exactly what lies ahead. I know it sounds like a lot, but you can do it. We're here to help all along the way. So now I want to bring in our experts who have been patiently waiting and ready to answer your questions. So first of all, I'd like to introduce you to Michael Lieberman, who is the manager of the CBA's initial licensing unit. He will tackle any licensing related questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And then let's give a big welcome to Ricardo Hernandez, who is a coordinator in the CBA's examinations unit. So he'll handle the exam related questions. So I'm going to go in now and jump into the chat and see the questions we've got. We'll just kind of go through. So this is a great time to jump in.
So I had a question. So like, for example, right now I'm doing an internship. Does that the 1 year of accounting experience count that internship, or does it have to be as a staff accountant?
So it will be counted provided it's supervised by a CPA. And we count 170 hours as a full month of experience. So you can kind of calculate it out that way.
Okay, thank you.
William says, and yeah, that's a question. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and type in the questions in the chat. Not that we don't want to hear your lovely voices, but it's probably easier so we don't just jump in on top of each other and everything. Yeah, and that is a question that we get a lot. The experience can happen, you know, even before you take the exam. So I think William it says I am in the MSA program with a BA in Liberal Studies. Upon completion, I will still not have any business credits, but I will have 48 units in accounting. Will I be able to sit for the CPA exam? Want to take that one, Ricardo?
Yeah. So as long as you have, you meet the 24 in accounting units, any extra accounting units that you have taken, we could count those towards your 24 business units. So that means that you would have to at least have 48 hours in 48 accounting units. And then you should be able to go ahead and be approved to sit for the CPA exam.
Great. Alexis said, if we can sit for the CPA exam 180 days prior to graduation, should we apply before then?
Yes, you'll still have to create your client account on our website. Once you get to your educational section, you have to select which option you're going to be applying under, which can be option A is if you already received your degree. Option B, if you're on a dual bachelor's, master's, so you're still in school waiting to get your master's, and you would apply under option C, which is the early entry. At that time, you're going to be selecting that. It's going to ask you if you're enrolled in a university, and then once your application prints, it's going to say option C on there, and that's the way we're going to be able to know that you're an early entry exam applicant, and we're going to go ahead and approve you once we receive your application, and we know that you're not going to be sending in any transcripts, so it won't delay the process.
Good. Roberto says, if you fail one section of the CPA exam, will you have to take the whole exam again or just the section you failed?
It would only be the section you failed. You don't have to retake any exam that you've already passed. You will no longer need to retake as long as you pass all the remaining 3. If you pass all 4 exams within the 18-month expiration period.
Yeah, and Denise kind of had that same question. So we would have to pass all 4 sections within 18 months.
That's correct.
Yeah, so the clock starts, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ricardo. So the clock starts the date you pass your first exam.
Yes.
Correct.
So if you were to take your exam today and you pass today, you have 18 months from today to pass the remaining 3 sections.
Right. So if you pass your first one today, you would have until October 29th, 2023, I believe. And some people, I get this question a lot on Facebook. Some people are trying to cram, they get really close to that 18 months at the end and they start freaking out a little bit. And they're worried about, when do I get my score? So it's not about when you get your score, correct? It's when you actually take it. So you could take it on that very last day, October 29th, 2023, or whatever it would turn out to be. And that's fine as long as you pass it on that day. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, okay. See, Jean-Pierre says, are any criminal convictions an obstacle to getting your CPA? So that'd be Michael.
I would say it depends. Part of the initial licensing process is a criminal record clearance, which is your fingerprint check. And so if it's something that would lend towards your fitness as a CPA, it could impact it, but there are always mitigating circumstances and stuff like that is generally reviewed on a case-by-case basis by myself and my team.
Brianna says, after application for the CPA exam, how long does it usually take to get approved to take the exam?
So right now, it's taking from 2 to 4 weeks after we receive it in the CBA. It all depends on how many applications we're receiving. The more applications we receive, that number could be more towards 4 weeks. If we're not getting a high volume of applications, it could be towards in the middle between 2 and 3 weeks. But it is going to be taking around 2 to 4 weeks estimated to get your application reviewed and approved.
And we post those dates weekly on our social media, and it's also up on our website. So I believe the dates that I posted today for exams was April 4th, I think it was. So it's being turned around in about 3 weeks or so. And then, yeah, and then once you get that, the ATT will go, you'll get your payment coupon and, start scheduling those sections. Let's see, Elsa. How can we go about learning which specific classes we have taken qualify for all 150 units?
So this is a question we get relatively often. when you are applying, we will receive your transcripts and we go through the transcripts then. So it's really determining then. There's no set standard that we base it on. We just have to review it individually. So once you send in your application, once you've completed your 150 units, we'll look at it. And we really strive to make it so that we're leaning towards the student's favor. But we want to make sure that you have your 150 unit hours.
Now, are there any classes that would not count for that?
So there are courses that can go into the more general experience area, but as long as you're hitting your 24, your 20 hours of accounting study beyond that, and the 10 hours of ethics study, the other classes can kind of go in a variety of areas. And we actually have a really helpful applicant handbook on our website that has answers to a lot of these questions. And it's just a really great resource we put together to help you through the application process.
Yeah, we have a couple of things. The one that I referred to as the quick tips, the CPA license quick tips, that kind of breaks it all down in a nice little graphic. But if you want to get deep, like reading the encyclopedia or Wikipedia, whatever we read these days, that's what the handbook is. So everything you would possibly need is in there, as long as you can find it, but it's all in there. Let's see. Devin says, after we're approved to take the exam, when must we first sit for our first part of the exam? Tongue twister.
All right. So once you get approved, you're gonna have 1 year to make your CPA selections of which exam sections you're wanting to take. After you make your selections and you get your payment coupon, you're gonna have 90 days to pay NASBA. After you pay NASBA for the selected exams, you're gonna have a total of 9 months, and you must sit for the exams you selected within 9 months. So just be careful. A lot we get emails like Dave was saying that people select off 4 exams. And prior to paying NASBA, they realize they're not going to be able to take the 4 exams within 9 months, and they'll submit a section change. So when you first get approved, just make sure you select exams that you believe you're going to be able to take within those 9 months. Because after you pay NASBA, if you can't take any exam within the 9 months, those fees are forfeited, and we are not able to give you a refund or do a section change at that time.
And a handy tip is you can have more than one NTS open at a particular time. So yeah, like Ricardo says, don't bite off more than you can chew at the beginning. I mean, we're not here to give recommendations or whatever, but putting all 4 on your first NTS, it would be quite ambitious, I would say. So let's see, we have a couple more and then we'll probably give it back because you guys can start mingling here shortly. If I pass the CPA exam without 1 year of supervised account experience, will the license still be valid 1 year after completing the exam?
So for the exams part, the scores are valid once all 4 are complete, which Ricardo can confirm for you, but you can't complete your application package without the year of experience. So your application will just kind of be sitting in limbo until it's completed.
Right. That's correct. And after you pass all 4 sections, those scores never expire. So they'll stay on your client account until you're ready to apply to become for the CPA license.
Very good. All right. Like we said, once you pass that CPA exam, nobody can take it away from you. You're good. All right. Well, thank you for all the questions. Again, thanks for allowing us the opportunity to be here, and hopefully that was informative for all of you. Please, if you have any questions, you have those email addresses. outreach@cba.ca.gov is a good one. If you just have a random question, and then the other ones, exam info, licensing info. Like I said, we're definitely here to help. We want to help out and make it as easy as possible for you. So, all right. Thank you, Coyotes. I turn it back to you, Audrey.
Thank you so much, David and the team. We really appreciate you guys coming on and talking to us. If you want, actually, we were thinking of making you guys a room if you're interested. I know students have a lot more questions. Is that something that you guys would want to do? Have your own breakout room?
Do you guys, I actually have to sign out, but I don't know if they are available or not. I didn't warn them of that.
We can talk about it more in the chat. Right now, we're going to do our first breakout room. So thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. Monica, are we ready with the breakout rooms?
Well, I had just made a breakout room for the CBA. So,
It's okay.
so should I undo it and put everybody back into
Maybe
random?
undo it and put everybody back, and then we'll chat about it when everybody breaks out.
Okay.
So what we're going to do right now is just start the room. So you guys are going to start populating in your rooms. It's a 20-minute breakout. And so each session is going to be 20 minutes. We are going to have 4 sessions. The very last session, we're going to give the students the opportunity to go to the firm or to the room that they want to go to. Maybe they want to reconnect with a professional or meet a professional that they didn't get an opportunity to meet. So without further ado, Monica, if you want to go ahead and do that. If you guys have any problems at all, just come back to the main room and we'll fix it for you, okay?
Okay. Yes, we're ready. Hopefully I did it all right.
Thank you, Monica.
It's an experiment.